Oh God, I'm sorry. Just thinking about this film I'm going to record my live reaction to tonight. That's me already feeling a bit bored. Hey everybody, Duckyworth here. And yes, it is time for my next live film reaction. Yay! So you might be wondering what film I'm referring to this time. So this one is for, it's interesting because this reaction that I'm doing tonight is for a film that I only saw relatively recently when it was on Netflix, but even though that was only a few months ago, I've already forgotten almost everything about it. It's that non-memorable for me. But that'll make it so that I can react to it completely blind again, even though I have seen it recently. And I imagine that's probably not going to be a very good sign. So it's time for my next reaction. So this is for the 2008 computer animated adventure. Oh god, I'm getting my words mixed up. Adventure fantasy film, The Tale of Despereaux. Yay! Loosely based on the 2003 novel of the same name by Kate DiCamillo. The second theatrically released computer animated film distributed by Universal Pictures following The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a VeggieTales movie. Finding trivia for this one was pretty difficult to find, but upon looking on TV Tropes and Wikipedia, I have been able to find some things. Let's see. This is already a pretty bad sign. Originally, the film's production was going to be by French director Sylvain Chomet. I'm probably pronouncing that right, wrong rather. He was the same person who directed The Old Lady and the Pigeons, The Triplets of Belleville, and The Illusionist. So has some other really good projects underneath his belt. But then, sometime during production, the film's production, first of all, it had a lot of disagreements and malpractice, or apparently it was rumoured that there was malpractice between all the different staff involved, a lot of arguments and a lot of creative disagreements. So yes, Chimay was hired as director early on before the film was approved for funding by Universal, with a pre-production including character design, the first drafts of a screenplay, and the addition of an original character of Boldo, taking place in Edinburgh. Chimay came up against creative and ethical differences with the producers and was eventually kicked out of the project and thrown out of a studio space allocated for the film. And eventually, it was going to be the director that works, who was a co-director for Corpse Bride with Tim Burton. Mike Johnson was going to be the director next, but then it turned out that it was finally going to be, the directors would finally be Sam Fell and Rob Stevenhagen. And Sam Fell directed, was an Aardman Animations staff member working on projects like Pop, What's Pig, and Rex Runt. And he also works on Flushed Away, and he co-directed Paranorman. So some rather big, and he's also going to be working on the upcoming Chicken Run 2 that's coming out in 2023. So some big names were involved in this, but it sounds like it has had a lot of problems with the production going on about it. And from what I can remember, it shows. It definitely shows. It was the first and only production from Framestone Feature Animation, and it seems, I honestly feel a bit bad for, it seems to be a little bit like Little Nemo, what I reacted to last time, because it was one of those films that went through a lot of different directors and a lots of writers that were going through it, but it ended up getting chucked around between people, and as a result of a really troubled production and ideas being thrown out, and just a lot of things just being chucked in, it seems like that was responsible for the film ending up being a complete mess. But yeah, as I said, I've seen this film very recently, and already I've forgotten almost everything about it, besides the fact it has Matthew Broderick as the main character, who is absolutely boring from what little I can remember. So, okay, let's see what the damage is with this film. So, I've got the film up on my laptop now, and I'm just about to click play on it. So, get your pillows ready, everybody, and it is time for us to prepare for boredom. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Ugh. Okay, I've just got another bit of a trivia. Just getting it up here. Oh, that was a bit. Even the Universal logo sounds pretty. There's almost no sound for that. Oh, Chomei stepped down to continue work on The Illusionist, apparently. Okay, a spool of a thread. The style is inspired by early Flemish painting from medieval to the Renaissance Hieronymus Bosch and Vermeer. What I remember, larger than life production. Well, judging by how the film turned out, I don't think so. But I do like the art style in this film. That's one thing that I do remember liking, the Tale of Despereaux. There's one thing that I do remember, the art style and the animation. Matthew Broderick, Robbie Coltrane, and it's got a lot of big names in this as well, as the voice cast. So, and I mean, looking at this already, Dustin Hoffman, it sounds like they've got a lot of big names for this. So it's a shame that so much effort and so much trouble went towards this film when it didn't amount to a whole lot. And I just remember all the trailers coming up when this was coming out, like around about Christmas season 2008. And even as a child, I thought it was a bit much, and it looks. It's like one of those trailers where all they do is shout the main character's name over and over. Despereaux, 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 Despereaux. They can't think of anything to sum up their film, so they're just shoving the character's name over and over and over and over again. It's funny, I was sharing pictures of this a little bit ago, and a lot of people were saying that it looks like discount Ratatouille from the... But I need to read the book at some point. I heard the book is supposed to be much better, and Sigourney Weaver is the narrator, so that's something else good going for this. Okay, Seagull. Oh, there we go, there's Sigourney. Okay, so we're on the pirate ship here, and there's a... yeah. Well, he doesn't seem that bothered. Well, he doesn't seem that bothered about it. Apart from now. Sigourney Weaver, you're lying to me. Wait, and rats can talk to... So they can talk to the humans. Oh, all right. That guy has got a very long neck. Yeah. Look at his neck! It seems like the art style's trying to go for like a stained glass or a carvings, like from roundabout like the Renaissance period, from the designs I can see. And as I said, it's not bad designs, and the animation is nice, but it seems to be Oh, this is one thing. It's like the colour schemes. I mean, I know that soup. What that lady there? What's up with that lady's eyes? Did you see how small compared to how big a forehead is? Oh, careful when you. Too close. Oh wow. Now we've entered the Ministry of Silly Hats. Oh, there's a bit more colourful. That's another thing. It's like the animation is nice, but the colour schemes just seem to be a bit dull a lot of the time, from what I can remember. That potato looked like a butt, and it looks a bit like a more dull version of a Tangled town, the Kingdom of Corona, which is a very unfortunate name for a kingdom. The Kingdom of Door. Oh, okay, loads of potatoes are coming in and being scrubbed. Automatic knives. That's a pretty creative super machine there, like that they've got going on, actually. Chef Andre. The art's another thing. The character, the noses are too close. That guy's face. That one guy with a big face. This looks like a. With no offense to Shrek, this looks like it's a. Even though it came out like 6 or so years later, this reminds me of Shrek's animation. Oh, okay, the king, queen, and oh my god, what is up with her neck? And what is up with everyone's necks being really long? Oh, she looks like a swan with a very bulbous. Okay, and that guy's beard and hair look way too big for his head. Anyway, some of the character designs remind me of that Pixar short, the one-man band. Alright, he's just going into the kitchen there. Okay, haunted pages turning by itself. What the? It's funny that I saw this film recently and this is still coming out of nowhere for me. Oh, gee, Okay, a living genie made out of food. You know, considering that the world seems pretty, it seems pretty grounded for most of the things going on, except for the animals being able to talk to people. But now we have okay, they're fighting with each other. Why are they fighting with each other? It just seems weird to throw in a genie, a fruit genie, out of nowhere. I wonder if that was inspired by Giuseppe Arcimboldo, his design there. It's not a bad design, but considering that the rest of it seems to be relatively normal, it does seem very peculiar to throw in a living pile of food and only Chef Andre knows about it. You would have thought that if there's someone that can be able to make why are they fighting? Why are they having a food fight? Why is anything happening? Why are you? And you. Well, that was stupid, wasn't it? Wah, wah, wah. Why you do that? Oh, okay. Wait, if he's eating some kind of soup that's made out of, like, vegetables and the like, does that make the genie a cannibal? And if you have a genie made out of food that can solve, like, world hunger or anything to do with, like, anything to do with soup, why is he hidden in the kitchen all the time? Why is Andre being so secretive about it? Is he just taking all the credit? Ugh. And if this is their first and only animated film, I don't blame them for not being so refined with the textures. But it's just some of the textures just look strange on the people. Okay, giving the Queen a soup there. Oh, what's that face? Ugh. Okay, some of his facial expressions are getting a stone's throw away from that Goat Story film, but with better textures. Ugh. Well, that was you didn't see something fall into it? How daft are you? Wait, does she not understand him? She's not listening to him? Uh, uh, what was that? Wait, so the Queen can't. Why are you just running? Why don't you just run on the floor to try to get away from? Yeah. Is this trying to be comedic? Why don't you get the genie to get the? And once again, if rats are intelligent enough to talk to people in this, or is it only select people that can do this? Oh, great! Now it's turning into Little Nightmares, the rodent edition. Yeah, some of the people in this look uncanny, like the Little Nightmares monsters. If the rats can talk to people, why aren't they letting him explain himself? And why is it such a shock that and why are those knights so terrible? Chasing a rat. Uh, how can she have died from that? And she just fainted from seeing a rat into the soup, and that killed her. And oh, they tried to play that. That seems a little bit distasteful. Okay, that guy's got very steel toes. If he had a mace land on it and he didn't scream, they tried to play the Queen's death as almost comedic there, and it just seems just a little bit distasteful with how they handled that. Okay, and he falls into the sewer without even screaming. Oh, how far down did he fall? Oh. Despite everything, I think Roscoe is one of the. Okay, so who's this? You can trust me. How can you not trust a face like this? Oh, yeah, she... Oh, great, now the colours are going... And now the colour schemes get even more stale. Wait, why is he banning soup? He saw it was the rat that Roscoe that fell into the... And wait a minute, if that's their only food that they have, rats are considered illegal. It sounds like he's saying the kingdom of Dork. When I first saw this, I swore that he said that. You all starve, and you all die. Oh wait, we just replayed that. We just replayed that scene of him walking off. Oh, and... Oh, it was already looking pretty grey to start with, but now it's even worse. And I get that it's part of like the style of the film, but yeah, look at this. Wait, so soup is responsible for like the clouds like flying about and rain. What kind of soup are you making? Jesus Christ, the head's massive. How clumsy are you? Wow, her forehead's big enough to park a jumbo jet on. Wait, so him just banning soup in one city made every single thing, every single bit of colour drain from the kingdom. And once again, what are they going to eat? Soup was the only thing that they ate, and now... Sorry, Sigourney, but you're sounding a bit bored. You're sounding as bored as I am with this. With your narration here. Oh, Mouse Kingdom. One thing that I will say that I do always like when it comes to animal-based films is mouse-related kingdoms. I always like how they creatively try to make them like towns and townships out of like small things with rodents. It's like the film Ernest and Celestine. That's something else. Mouse World. Yes, thank you. I think we all got that already. We didn't need a subtitle. Well, there's a bit more colour now, but it still looks a bit. It still looks a bit drab. And once again, I know that it was like this at the time, but it just looks a lot very stale and dark. A lot of the colours. Oh wow, we've got some very tall ruffles. Oh, and they sound bored as well. All right. God, I can't see anything. It's just, why is it so? You don't need it to be so dark. Wow, great parents were. Don't worry, he's gonna be a coward just like we want. Okay, so now we got Dumbo as a mouse. He looked more, he saw more, heard more, and even smelt more. Oh, okay. So he managed to get cheese perfectly from a mousetrap there. That deep voice from him, it's like Matthew Broderick. Sorry, Matthew, but you're not very good at emoting as him. I still think Simba's probably the only role that I can think of from Matthew Broderick where he actually managed to emote properly. Why does he sound so bored in a lot of the things that he does? He doesn't give it... Why does she have glasses look like honeycomb? Okay, mouse school. I like this idea here. I like this concept. I'm acting. I mean, I know that they're doing it out of like a self-preservation. Don't give him that look. You know, this is supposed to be like a scary place, but looking at the colour schemes of everything else, it somehow blends in. One of the rules is to not talk about the rules. Then how do you know what the rules are? You know, there's a difference between being fearless and being an idiot. Because that's another thing that I think, from what little I can remember, that bothered me about Despereaux. It's like he just seems so gung ho, and I mean, I know that if you have a character that's like fearless and like doesn't care about everything, but if absolutely nothing shakes him and he never seems to get any kind of like hardship that bothers him, it makes for a very boring character. And you've never really shown yet any reason why he's not scared of anything going on in the world. I mean, I know there's things going on later, but how much more interesting would it have been to have a child that was if you got to see how he grew up to be fearless and oh wow, okay, I like this this rat world. Yeah, yes, thank you. We don't need the subtitle. Well, I think we've already established that this is the world of rats. Oh no, look at all these dark colour schemes. It's so much more different than all the other dark locales that we've had already. The only difference here is that it's got like broken plates. Oh hey, look, it's the one character that should be the main character, Roscoe. Okay, that's a pretty clever idea there. They're charming an earthworm and lobster fighting. And once again, there are some creative ideas in this, like some of the set pieces. That is when you can see it and make out anything because it's dark, too dark. Okay, so this guy keeps this guy pulls a hopper and keeps all the other rats in line by keeping them in line by controlling their food supply and making it so only the strong survive. How do you eat? God, you could poke someone's eye out with that nose. Have I said his? Have I mentioned his name yet? Yeah, I think that's another thing. Do they ever mention the villain's name? I don't think they do. Oh, and already they're showing that is a, it would have been that would have been a big dramatic reveal if like they tried like a building up to it and God, I can't see. I'm trying to squint, but because of the colours, or lack of colours, I can't tell what's going on. And this is even when I've got the brightness on my laptop up fully. Okay, let's see what he's doing here. God, you can't emote at all, can you? Why are you laughing at him like that? And he doesn't even seem to be that bothered by it. It's like, I mean, it's one thing to, I mean, I know that, I mean, and here's another thing, his parents seem flat out ashamed of him for being different, not trying to support him at all. There's so many wonderful things in life to be afraid of. God, everyone's voice acting suddenly got so much more dull and monotone. And they're immediately preferring his brother over him and saying that he's a much better son. Parents of the year. And once again, Despereaux doesn't seem bothered at all by it. I mean, that's not a realistic reaction to this at all. Yeah, great parents. Okay, so where are they going? Where are they going? They're just going into the human kitchen here. Wait, why does he still have a job? I mean, if they banned soup, why is he still here? God, look at all these. It's bad. It's another thing with all the colours just being all the same as each other. All the settings we just blend in. They just all feel the same, boring, drab, and lame, uncreative colours as each other. Oh, there we go. There's something that looks a little bit more creative, a little bit more colourful there. Wait, they just go to eat books? Wait, oh yeah, just leave him alone. Oh, shut up. That's another thing. The world building seems pretty half-baked. It's like, why are they caring so much about these, why do they talk so much about these rules? Where did it come from? And why are they so gung-ho about Despereaux being different? And like, they never establish anything. Oh god, there's the huge forehead lady. Maybe Sigourney Weaver is fitting for this because Princess P definitely looks like an alien. Okay, now he's living out his fan fiction where he's a human. And once again, maybe him seeing himself in these stories would have a bit more weight if they took a bit more time to like establish his character or why he wants to find these books, or establish more why the mice don't read. And once again, how do they learn things? How do they learn how to talk if they don't have, or like other things about the world if they don't have books? Or if they don't read anything? And how did he learn how to read? Yeah, that's another thing. How did Despereaux learn how to read, and why does everyone look down on him for it? He must have learned how to read somehow. And Gary Stewness. Because that's what Despereaux is. Wow, that's a very big leg there. Yeah, you're conforming. Well, yeah, to be honest, if you just stabbed a huge wad of cheese like that and just yelled, "Ha ha!" out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm so happy for this blank shell that I know absolutely nothing interesting about. Sure is the intrigue of his plight that makes me want to sympathise with him. Why is she kept up? Why does a dad keep her locked up in that tower anyway? God, more grey. She died the most ridiculous and stupid death ever. That was so horrible and badly written. It's depressing. Yeah, seriously, what was that death? That was embarrassing. Talk to him, you. You know, maybe if you actually went down to see your dad every once in a while, that instead of just closing the door like that, then maybe you wouldn't be in a depression. You're his only survivor. You're his daughter. Yeah, you're an idiot. You mix up a mouse for a rat. Ugh. He looks bald. Because you have longing. Longing for what? Too close. Her eyes. Oh, gross. She's even scarier than the actual villain. Smooth. Why is a human hitting on a mouse? It's not going to work out, lady. It's not going to work out. Stop hitting on him. God, I'm 35 minutes into this film and it feels like absolutely nothing's happened. The story's just moving and meandering without many interesting things really being told. Your quest to be... Yeah, his quest to read a book. No, don't lean forward. Don't give in to her advances. And he's... Why are a mouse and a human hitting on each other? Oh, good, he's dead. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, and he even landed on his feet perfectly. Why is a mouse and a human hitting on each other? Oh, who's this? Sigourney, your narration comes in at... Oh. I remember her being like one of a few characters in this film that I actually did like. This girl who's been living on a destitute farm for all the yeah, who's been living on a farm, like being pushed around all those years and only wants to live a better life. Miggery and Roscoe should have been the main characters. They're much more relatable than Gary Stewrow. Oh. And I like her design too. She's sweet. Oh, what a dick. Yeah, you're in a much better place. And she's forced to be a maid, just cleaning up the palace, just continuing on with her work because she dreams for a better life. That's a much more relatable and a much more likable character than this schmuck here. Wait. Why is it against the law for humans to talk to rodents? That sailor was talking to Roscoe just fine earlier, and that he seemed fine with it. Ugh! Yeah, I'm worried about him too. I'm siding with his brother. What's it, furlough? Wait, they're gonna turn on Despereaux? The parents are... Ugh. That was one of them. That Despereaux there. I remember that being from the trailers over and over and over and over again. That one way that his dad says Despereaux. Another thing, I do like the art style from this here, the storybook. Certainly much more interesting and a bit more colourful than everything else that's going on. And once again, it's very fitting that Despereaux sees himself as a... Oh, and he sees himself as a bland hero who's able to do everything perfectly. And why is it so bad for him to read? They never answer that. Why can't you read? Why is it against the law to... Oh god, now it's gotten even greyer. Oh, there we go. Finally, colours! We have colours! He got food for you! Be grateful, you jerk. And again, why is it bad for him to talk to humans? Wait, you're stopping your wife from trying to save your own child? You're an awful parent. What laws? You haven't explained what the laws are. Why? And why is that a problem? He has a great deal of trouble being a character. Hovis. Well, that's not going to bother Despereaux. He's never bothered by anything, is he? Yeah, look at him. Doesn't even look that upset. He doesn't even look that bothered by it. Wait, you stop. Once again, you're stopping her from saving your own flesh and blood, you pillock. Blooming heck. I like that setting there. Why are they so scared? Is he a rat? I honestly can't tell. I think he is a rat. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just going along with it as well. So how long have they been banishing mice down there? Wait, those other mice were just there earlier. In that one scene where he just tossed the cheese down. Christopher Lloyd. Even you're not you've just got this little role here, but already one of the best parts of this film. Even though it's just a bit part here. Oh, don't worry, he's survived every single other thing that he's come across. He'll survive this. Oh, and look, he just jumped straight in. He just jumped straight in without any worry, and he's not going to die or anything bad's going to happen to him, because he's Despereaux and he's perfect. Or if he has any kind of emotion at all, it's not going to show very well. Because Matthew Broderick's delivery doesn't really carry much emotion. Oh, jeez. I need to lean forward. I need to lean forward in my chair a bit, or move my laptop screen a bit closer, because I can't see anything. This film is way too drab. And once again, I get that a lot of the film is like overcast with clouds, or it's just dark, or just like underground, but it just makes it very difficult to see. Even his scared reaction looks very bored with everything. He just opened his eyes widely, Christmas tree style, and then he just drops it. Oh, and once again, his expression's back to normal because nothing ever phases him. And the funny thing is about the other rats, besides the main villain, it seems like a lot of them they're just like taking orders. It's not like really evil or anything, but they're getting all lumped into the same group as the villain. And if he can just speak, so easily to humans, why is it? If he can just speak so easily to humans, why is it such a crime? Yeah, why is it a crime for rodents and humans to talk? Oh, there's one of the other characters I'd much rather be following again. Wait, what did you say? The princess took the soup? Yeah. Okay, so just chucks him. Okay. Kill him! He's kill the Gary Stew! Okay, so what's this gonna go now? Oh, okay, now we're in a arena. How do we get to this? Why is he in the... Once again, they're not establishing much. Why are they bringing... Why do they want to bring the mouse into the arena here? Wait, they hate the light, but they make a lot of... Oh, wait, it's not sunlight, okay. Ugh. Mouse, 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 mouse. Why does that... What does that one rat have a shell on her head? That was not a good fashion statement. Yeah. Why is he so destined to why is he so destined to break a Roscoe anyway? Is it because he's a different like a Despereaux of a mice? Oh, don't try to scare us. He'll just get through it perfectly. You just know he's gonna survive it without many problems at all. Wow, Garfield, the years have not been kind to you. Oh, finally he shows some kind of fear. Is it? Am I've missed this? But is it because the rats are jealous of the mice for being closer to the humans that they want that have such a prejudice against them? Wow, that cat has got very tiny paws for that body size. What was that noise? And again, if I established anything, if I showed him, if but the villain guy is trying to break Roscoe, but it just seems like it just seems like a lot of the plot points, but just like on fast forward, and they're not really. I mean, I get why. I get that Roscoe's getting tired of the rats like being so savage, but once again, the idea is good, but they're just throwing in like plot point after plot point after plot point, and they're not really fleshing it out. And again, if they spent less time on the boring main character and more on Roscoe and more about how I mean, he was with humans before and now he's like underground, but they don't really show a whole lot of like of how he came to be there in this position and why the villain seems so gung ho on trying to break him in particular. When was the world not grey? Oh, okay, he takes crumbs. And I think Roscoe's vocal performance is also one thing that helps makes him one of the few characters that I like about this. Why can't they? Once again, how are people in the if the human world has banned soup? I mean, why is soup such a big deal anyway? And why is the dad just keeping her locked up like that? Oh, and the other main character that should have been main character. Oh, and she can't emote either. Princess P can't emote either. Aww. It's like the facial expressions that they give Miggery certainly helps to make her more sympathetic. I mean, even though she steals the crown. Aww. Yeah, Jesus Christ, another weird. Stop it. She'd make a much better and much more endearing one than the actual one here. Yeah, and I don't blame her for. Wait a minute, stew is a type of soup, so they still have some kind of like soup-like food here, even if it's not the really good soup that they supposedly have. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's kind of like soup except more gloopy. Oh, yeah, leave her alone. Yeah, could people stop being a little more nicer to Miggery? Like, God damn. Oh, so he gave me, yeah, he gave Miggery over to. Oh, why is it that the only characters that I care about are the side characters? I don't care at all about the main character. She's terrible. He is terrible, right? Yeah, he's just boring. He feels like a side character in his own story. That's how bland he is. God, look at what was with his 1,000-yard stare there? That's his default expression, just blank staring at everyone. Just blankly staring into space and not showing any reason to be invested whatsoever. Uh, is this? Gosh, she looks like a statue. Just looking at her, just sitting there, she looks like a lifeless, lifeless alien statue. Especially with all her. Wait, why are you wearing that? You don't even recognise his voice. You don't even recognise Despereaux's voice. Princess P. That's a very fitting name. You're Princess P Brain. Jesus, how dumb are you? Die. He's not even doing anything. I don't want an inside view of that. Yeah. Wow, Princess P is a dick. Yeah, I really care about the princess. Yeah, I really care about her. I really like. She's a really likable character there. Yeah, she's not just as bland as Despereaux. She's pretty damn mean. Actually, the more that I think about it, and something else that happens later that I remember, like, really rubbing me the wrong way. It's like you see him; he's nothing but Roscoe is nothing but apologetic about what's going on, and you go to attack him, even though he bears no ill will. He doesn't have any weapons on him. And it didn't seem to be that your queen died from him, but more because she was an idiot and decided to faint in her own soup. How is it Roscoe's fault? P pretty much caused her own problems here. If the characters aren't bland, then if the characters aren't shoved into the background, even though they should have been the main characters, they're bland. And if they're not that, they're mean-spirited. Oh. Yeah, once again, Roscoe and Miggery, they're much more sympathetic. You understand more about why they feel and act the way they do, but P and Despereaux are just bland and uninteresting. And horrible in a P sense. Mm. Yeah! Yeah, I'm actually on Miggery's side. The princess is a jerk. Yeah, she should be. You know it's bad when the girl that steals from royalty and a rat who is taking advantage of her insecurities to try to get his own back on the princess are the more likable characters than the actual princess herself. It is pretty bad when they're more sympathetic than the character that's supposed to be sympathetic. Yes, let's take that jerk down. The real heroes are... okay, the chef guy. He hasn't been in it for a while. Oh, I almost forgot he was in this. A baby? And it also doesn't help that a lot of the people in this film are complete idiots. Oh, wait, is Miggery going to murder the princess? That's a bit... Oh, yeah, he'll really turn out to care for Miggery. Gregory. Oh, that's Miggery's dad. That... Saying that you're going to go at her with a cleaver and saying that she has heart, that is a little bit of a... juxtaposition there. Yeah! Yeah, Princess P's horrible! Yeah, she could... Yeah, why are we supposed to be caring for Princess P again? Oh, shut up. No one cares. I don't care about you, Princess P Brain. Yes, she can. Nobody cares about you. Oh, and, oh no, here's the Gary Stu coming to save the day, Oh, and of course he just knew to dress himself up like that, and of course it works perfectly without a hitch. I really care about... It really is all his difficulties that makes me sympathise with him. Oh, and Miggery got a... Oh, and Miggery just got thrown in the dungeon. Oh, and there's another plot point that got... Maybe if I tried going more into why the rats are being, like, controlled through, like, food sources. Well, how long is left? 26 minutes, and it feels like... All of the plot points, it feels like they're not really fleshing out a lot of them, and why some characters feel that way. Maybe that's why I find this film so boring, because I don't know about why things are happening or why characters feel that way. I don't care about them. Ugh. Hey, baby, you miss me? This just reminds me of what I heard about the reality of, like, Stuart Little, and if you look up what happened in the original book, then prepare yourself for awkwardness. Including a mouse hitting on a human. Oh, and of course he can just do that. Oh, wait, he could just climb back up. He could just climb back up that big grate that all the banished mice are being thrown down. Then why didn't the rats just try doing that sooner? If I could just climb all the way back up again, I mean, I know they say that they hate the sunlight, but surely Despereaux can't be the first one who tried doing that. Oh, look, Despereaux's as grey as all the other backgrounds in this. He blends right in. Just like all the other backgrounds blend right into each other. Oh, well, let me guess he's going to get across this without a hitch. He's going to be able to make it across every single mousetrap without any difficulty. And I'm just going to care so much about him because he struggles so much. Oh, yes, look at him. He struggles so much. He learns so much about everything and gets a lot of hardships thrown towards him. Isn't he the best main character ever? Oh no, he lost the locket. Something becomes slightly inconvenient for him. Oh yeah, this guy who does barely anything throughout the film. Oh yeah, the king is a non-entity as well. All he does is just sit there and play his lute all the day. And he does absolutely nothing else. I mean, I get his wife died, but he never does anything. And his daughter just abandons him. I mean, go in and say hello every once in a while, you mean... And once again, what's the villain's name? And oh well, they're gonna eat Princess P. And they can't get very much nutrition out of that. She's full of junk. Like, his beard still looks way too big for his head. You're not very smart, are you? How is he supposed to hear you from up there? Oh, and of course he can just do that. He's never tried doing that before in his life. He doesn't have a magic feather or anything. How do you not notice him? How can you not... Is he deaf and blind? That's not even that loud. I'll get that he's like in a depression, but how can he not hear him? Oh, he's useless. Oh, hey, look, the horrible parents who have left their son to die. I care so much about them. You know, Despereaux, if you just cleaned the flour off of you, you wouldn't have people thinking you're a ghost. And once again, everyone's an idiot. Ha ha ha, yeah, let's repeat the same joke over and over and over again. It's so... Even this film's attempts at comedy are boring. Wipe the flour off of your face, you idiot. You know, how long does it take for rats to eat someone? Can we just have them eat Princess P and just get this over with, please? Oh, and now the flour finally comes off him. Oh, wait, where's the colour come from all of a sudden? Where's the colour coming from? Why is it suddenly getting all bright? Oh my god! Colour! It actually exists! Hallelujah! Oh wait, this isn't real, is this? Yeah. The only place where colour exists in this world is in this guy's dream. Oh god, back to the... I've never seen dull greys looking so eye-piercing, but oh god. Enough of the grey! Oh, okay, and he can just go and make soup. You know, this law, if there's a law banning soup from being made, if this chef guy could just make more, and there doesn't seem to be anyone properly putting these laws into place or reinforcing them, and it seems that everyone isn't really just like up in outroar about soup being made again, then what was the point of that law in the first place? Yeah, everyone just... wait, so the soup is just going to bring back the rain somehow? Yeah, why? How? Explanation? Can you explain something, please, film? Your world building is very, very phoned in and boring. You're not establishing anything about anything that's going on. And because of that, I can't care. Oh, yeah, and here's the non-established food genie again. All right. Yeah, why did he go away? But it didn't establish anything to do with him either. He just vanished. When Earth Soup was banned, what was his power? Only brought on by super being made? Uh, oh, and everyone's just happy with it now, even though there was a law banning soup. Yeah, he looks really out of... I know I've said this before, but that food genie looks really out of place. It just doesn't mesh with anything that's going on. Why do they have a food genie? And how do they not hear him? Oh, wait, you could do that. Why don't you do that to get the king's attention? He stabbed you in the foot and you call him a cute little mouse? Why is that such a shock? Why is a mouse talking such a shock to you? All rodents in this can talk. Oh, okay. Now now the rain comes back. Oh God! Look at their faces. Ugh. Some of them look like they come from Whoville with how their noses like look. Boldo, is that his name? Oh, okay. Now we've got the living Giuseppe Arkham Boldo painting just rushing to the dungeon. Yeah, why was he stuck in the kitchen all his life? Why? Why couldn't he leave? Why couldn't he leave the kitchen again? Once again, they never established that. Oh no, she's gone. What a shame. Blah. Save Miggery. Miggery is the only sympathetic one in the dungeon at the moment. How did he come to power? Why does he want to do this? But once again, they're not establishing anything about this villain. Yay, let's kill her. Save her! She's the one you should be saving. She'd make a much better princess. Oh, yeah, look, a running, living mountain of food. Nothing strange about that. Let's just treat it like it's normal and just attack him. You know, considering he's a genie made out of food, it actually makes a little bit of sense. But, oh, and of course, he manages to beat up the rats without any trouble. Wait. Oh, well, he's dead. Wait, he's dead? Wait, he's just floating food. How is he dead? He didn't seem to be... All they did was pull an onion off him and then he fell... I mean, isn't he supposed to be like a... Well, he was pretty lame, wasn't he? Oh, and here's another scene that I remember liking. Miggery and her dad being reunited. It's a little thing, but you take what you like when you can. Oh. Yay, we're gonna get the rain coming and we're all gonna... that face. Oh yeah, and the sunlight's finally coming back, thanks to Soup. Soup is really a really fantastical... Oh, and the king just gets up and he suddenly drops his depression. Nice to know that depression over a loved one is just that easy to just get over. Oh, he's still alive. Wait, when did you tell him his name? Oh, I care so much about the... Oh no, the food genie. What's his name's dead. Oh, and here's the what's his name villain. Why not? Oh, he's gonna get Roscoe to ring the gong. Because I'm too boring of a character to make any big decisions. Why isn't Roscoe the main character? He's got a much better arc, a much better character, much more emotional line deliveries. Ugh. Sigourney Weaver, I love you, but... Where's this coming from? Why? Why is he doing that? Why is he suddenly forgiving her? Eat her! Yes, please, eat her alien, overexposed giant neck and large forehead. Oh yeah, I'm just going to go and just kill a whole bunch of rats that only just seem to be eating out of desperation. Am I on evil in any way? I'm a hero! I'm Despereaux, the Gary Stu Matthew Broderick mouse. And I can just kill everyone and get away with it because I'm supposedly the good guy. Yay, all these rats who are only trying to survive and haven't really done a whole lot wrong. And just following orders of what's-his-face as suddenly being demonised. Yeah, the film just lumps them all into one group, even though they don't really seem to be all that evil. They're just taking orders. Oh, and of course he manages that, even though he's only held a needle once. He's suddenly a master swordsman. Gary Stu to the rescue. Oh, and of course he just manages to just dodge every single one of them and not get hit once. Once again, it really is his plight that makes him such a likeable and interesting character. That's why you should side with Despereaux. Ugh. Oh, and here's the other bland character. Yes, please! It'll make you a little bit more interesting. If you kill Despereaux, you'll have a few points in my book. Oh, of course. Yeah, once again, he doesn't have any kind of hardship or have to learn anything. He just gets through everything because of a plot convenience. And why do the rats hate sunlight? Was that ever established? That stock meow sound effects. That brings back wild flashbacks. Oh no, he's a vampire or something. That's why the sunlight repels him so badly. Well, there goes what's his face. We hardly knew ye. Seriously, I hardly knew him. What was his deal? Just like, oh yeah, and let's just make all these other rats homeless and just like make them have to flee for like desolate lands just because they're supposedly the bad guys. even though they didn't really do all that much wrong. Yay, Alien is free. I'm so glad. Ugh! Oh god, that's true scary thing in this film, her face. Ugh. You don't have to apologise for anything. P should be apologising. Yeah, finally, the only smart thing she's done or said. Oh. Yay, now we can shove light on this grey drab world. And we hardly knew her either. Yeah, she deserves it. She deserves it much. She hurt a servant girl without even meaning to. No, she didn't even feel bad for what she said. She repeated, "You look ridiculous," in a mocking tone when asked again. Oh, okay. So now, oh, what's it? Even this is rushed. Oh, and now he's just going. Oh, wait, how did he find a ship? And where's that guy he was with? Except for me, because I watched this boring snooze fest. Oh, and of course he's just gonna. Oh yeah, and wait, when did he learn how to do that thing with the years again? Oh, who cares? It's over. It's the end. Oh, Jesus. That was only something like an hour and 27 minutes, and it felt like an eternity. Jesus, that was boring. Tale of Despereaux, Kate de Camilio. I imagine that would be a million times more interesting than whatever hell this was I just watched. Yeah, if you wanted me to sum up this film in one phrase, that yawn was as accurate and raw of a reaction towards this film that I can ever offer. Because that was bland, that was boring, it rushed through the important parts that were going on. The characters that I cared about were the ones that weren't on screen, either weren't on screen for very long, or they were shoved aside for the characters that were supposedly the ones that we were supposed to root for. Matthew Broderick, Dustin Hoffman as Roscoe, Emma Watson as Princess P. Oh, I thought it was boring. Tracy Ullman, Migri Sao, Kevin Kline. Is that the villain? Botticelli, is that his name? They never said his name. That's the thing. All throughout this film, they never said the villain's name, so how are you supposed to fear him or have any kind of feeling for what he's supposed to do or why he feels the way he does if you don't even give a name for him? That's... even the film itself is admitting that he's boring. So, does anything work in this film? Well, as I said before, it's a shame because there are some things that I do think are alright about this. Because, I mean, the animation is really nice and the art style seems to have like it's like Renaissance paintings, like stained glass window aesthetic, and the mouse and rat worlds in the backgrounds. The designs I thought were nice, but and it's the voice actors. I mean, for what they were given, I mean, I'd put it. I mean, many of the ones like Emma Watson, Kevin Kline, and like many of the others that are in this, that I can recognise, like Dustin Hoffman and everyone else that was there. I I think it was more down to bad direction than it was bad acting. Because I mean, Matthew Broderick. I feel bad for Matthew Broderick because I mean, I get the feeling if anything to do with if anything from The Lion King is anything to go by, he can act when he can, but it just seems to be a lot of the times he just goes for uninterested vibe. But I don't know. But other than those things, like with some of the acting and the animation, everything else is just bland and forgettable. It's like, it's a shame because the villain, his voice actor, is clearly trying to make him come across as threatening, but they didn't really establish the villain very well, and he didn't leave much of an impact because he wasn't in the film for very long. They don't establish how he was able to become the leader of rats and why he got so much power over them. And they don't even mention his name. That's another thing about how boring he was. They never say his name. I don't think they ever... I think Botticelli is the character's name, but they didn't actually give the name in the film, I'm convinced. Yeah, the main character is a boring Gary Stu, who never really suffers any kind of hardship, really. I mean, I get that maybe they're trying to go for, like, an optimist who tries to maintain a sense of wonderment even when anyone is against him, but his bland character, his bland deliveries, and how he just seems to learn everything really quickly, even though he just read a book once, even though they established that you're not supposed to be able to read it, but then again, how would the mice be able to learn laws, and how would they be able to talk to each other, and how could they pass around, like, how things are supposed to be and what the laws are if they don't write? I mean, that's just something that seems a little bit weird to me. How did he able to get through all of these problems without any trouble? He's just, once again, he's just a Gary Stu. He never learns any kind of... undergoes any kind of hardship. He never learns any lesson or anything, and the only lesson in the film seems to be that heavy-handed, oh, I'm sorry about every single thing, and Sigourney Weaver's narration doesn't help either, because she's trying her hardest, but it just seems to be... we can't let the audience figure it out for themselves, or we can't think of a way to establish it, so let's just have Ripley tell everyone what's going on. The whole thing with the story, when it comes to the city banning soup, it didn't seem very well established. If a chef can just cook up more, everyone loves it immediately, it brings back the rain and the sunlight somehow, and everyone just drops the laws immediately. There aren't any knights or anything that are smelling the soup and trying to stop it from, like, being distributed or anything. So why is that happen? They never established that. The Queen's death seems surprisingly kind of distasteful, with how they play that as almost comedic, with how embarrassing it is, but then it flip-flops to playing it seriously, so the tone just seems a bit all over the place with that, and the comedy isn't very funny, with how bored all the characters are and how stupid everyone is. Despereaux's parents are pretty bad, because it's too little too late when they try to save him from his fate of being banished, and his dad even seems to stop his wife from trying to save their son, and they never get called out for that later. The people who banished Despereaux and picked on Miggery and Roscoe, they never get any kind of a comeuppance in the end, and it's just like, it's glossed over if there are any... It's like the Mouse Council and the Mayor, they just get forgotten about by the end, and they never admit that they were wrong. They just disappear into the ether. The King is a non-entity who just sits around and plays his lute all day, and he doesn't even hear someone trying to yell at him, and he never listens to... that his own daughter abandons him because she just goes downstairs, sees him, and then goes back upstairs without trying to talk to him or trying at all to make him feel better or trying to comfort him in any way. So P-Brain is, well, a P-Brain. Yeah, but Food Genie Baldo just seems like really, really weirdly out of place in the world that's otherwise grounded in reality, so that's like really half-baked, with having just throw him out of nowhere and he somehow dies. Even though all it took was just pulling one of his onions out, even though he's got many, many more that makes up his body, and why isn't he allowed to leave the kitchen? Why do they keep him in the kitchen all the time? And why doesn't anyone else know about this genie that makes food? That could solve a lot of problems. That could solve a lot of hunger that's going on around the kingdom if they just thought about it and just didn't just keep him holed up in the kitchen all day. That could have solved a lot of the problems that were going on with that. And yeah, Despereaux and the princess are just bland. The princess is mean to Roscoe and Miggery, and she's supposed to be sympathetic, but I didn't care for her at all because half of her screen time is spent mocking Roscoe and Miggery, and the other half is spent either ignoring her dad or hitting on a mouse who they just learn that go for that all of a sudden. And once again, the colour schemes with the everything that's going on. I mean, I get that it's like Overcast or in Dungeons, but it just seems very drab and dark, and it leads to not a lot of things to look at, and you can't tell what's going on half the time because I actually had to lean forward or try to turn up the brightness on my laptop, and even then I couldn't really tell what's going on. Oh, and the world building, it just seems really phoned in. Why aren't the mice allowed to talk to humans, even though it's established that rodents can talk to humans very easily? How did Roscoe get to go to sea again? It's just it's really unfortunate because it seemed to be. You can tell that this is problems during production. It's a lot of ideas that could have been interesting if I just fleshed them out, but the film just feels like it's just stuck on fast forward throughout a lot of it, and because they don't really leave them much time to establish anyone or anything about the world of the characters or how things work or what the villain thinks or why they're so obsessed with soup to begin with, that it just makes everything boring. It just reminds me of that Legend of the Guardians Owls of Ga'Hoole film. It's like, even though I hated that even more when I read the book and found out just like all the questionable changes that they made, but it's also like that. The animation is really good, but everything else. I mean, for 2008, I thought this animation was, and given that this is the only film that the animation studio made, I feel bad for the animators that works on this, because they were trying their hardest with what they were given, but they ended up losing their jobs if this was the only animated film that they worked on. But because they weren't given very good things to work on, and the script was and the story wasn't very good, and this feels like something that went through a lot of rewrites. If I can be perfectly honest, it feels like something that they just came up with a load of ideas, but they couldn't mesh them together, and it just resulted in everything just feeling bland and boring, and not a whole lot of reasons to be invested. It's just way too flawed and way too boring, and I don't care about Despereaux. I mean, maybe in the book he was a much more interesting character, but once again, it's just such a boring main character and such a boring story, and the things that should have been established are the things that should be in the foreground are in the background, and the things that should be in the background are in the foreground. I'm already forgetting about it already, and I just watched it like an hour ago. That's how boring this film is. It's not very often that I come across a film this bland, and there's not a whole lot for me to say about it. I mean, I've been able to talk about it a lot throughout it, and why I think things could have been established better, or things that could have been improved. But most of what I can say about this is the animation is good, but everything else is just boring and forgettable, and the story's a mess. The colour schemes are dull, and the characters are boring. Ugh, and all I can get from this is that it was a huge waste of potential. But that's the end of the tale of Gary Stu, Matthew Broderick Mouse. I'm gonna go and try and watch something more interesting to help myself wake up again. Well, here's a positive I can think about the film. If you need a sedative, this is the film for you. Just put it on and feel yourself fall asleep and nod off within half an hour, possibly even less. So, let's see what film is next. Okay, I've got my list of films here. Let's take a look-see. It's going to be an Australian film that was recommended to me. The 2000 Australian animated film called The Magic Pudding. Bunyip Bluegum is a koala bear who has lost his parents and can't find them. While many of his friends and relatives fear that Bunyip's folks are dead, Bunyip is certain they're still alive and sets out on the road to find them. It's loosely based on the 1918 book of the same name by Norman Lindsay, and the poster looks strange. This looks like it's going to be a very strange one. Sam Neill, Jeffrey Rush, Hugo Weaving, Jack Thompson, John Cleese. Oh, we've got a lot. Emma Thompson, Tony Collette. We've got a lot of big names in this. And I can already tell from the poster already, we've got a koala, a pudding, a human, and a penguin running down the road. So already I can tell it's going to be a little bit more interesting than Despereaux. I'm desperate for a nap. Why is it called Despereaux anyway? Just another thing that's never established. Oh, okay, I'm gonna... Oh, God, I need to have a nap. Sorry, I need to have a nap. So, see you later, everybody. Duckyworth, out. Bye, everyone. Oh.